Mhm.
Where were you emotionally and physically before joining the AZFIT program? What was the struggle for you?
I was going to the gym, but I was kind of like working off just an app that I was like, oh yeah, this will do. This has got some workouts in it, And so I had, I was going to the gym about 3 days a week in the mornings, and I'd reached a point where I'm like, you know what, I've been here before throughout my life, and I was just stuck. So I was just kind of like, how do I get past this next hurdle? Because I feel like I'm good. I've maintained or to a point, but I was still kind of putting on weight. I was I just like hit perimenopause, so that was always fun, like a roller coaster because you're kind of like, what is this? What how do I handle the next journey in my life? And then I was kind of in freak out mode a little bit because I was starting to put on a little bit of weight, and I was like, I didn't want to be one of those, the statistics. Oh, well, you get older, you just, put on a little bit of weight, and then slowly it just keeps going up and up, and you're just like, oh, well, that's just with age. And I was like, no, I can't be. Like, I've got young kids. I want to be fit. I want to be healthy. My dad has progressive dementia and Alzheimer's. It runs in the family, and I was just like, and he's only in his 70s, and I've seen people in their 70s, and I'll fit people in their 70s, and I'm like, no, this cannot happen. So I was like, I need to build muscle, so I was there was a lot of things going on in my head, plus, perimenopause, hey, come on in. So it was, but yeah, I was stuck. I was at this point where I was like, I need someone to kind of that knows what I'm going through, and I need someone to kind of guide me through the next thing, because then I wasn't eating. I'm quite healthy, but I was paring back how much I was eating. So, and then I was like, am I getting enough food? Am I getting enough nutrients? Oh, maybe if I just eat these like single food groups, it'll be fine. And yeah, I just felt like I just wasn't the healthiest version that I could be. And yeah, and I was just like, stuff it. I'm in, my early 40s. I need to do something. And the program had come up in my feed a couple of times, and I'd touch base, and messaged a couple of times. And then I was just like, oh, no, no, I won't. It's fine, and, and, and yeah. And then I think I had like one of those moments where I'm like, something needs to be done now. I'm going to have a meeting, and I'm going to figure out, find out what this program is all about, because it looks like that's my tribe. These are the people that actually understand what's going on with me, not, a 20-year-old at a gym, or, not, the latest craze of, CrossFit or whatever. And I'm just like, they're all great, but it just didn't seem to fit me. And I just needed someone that, understood me. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's awesome. I'm so happy you're here with us. Yeah.
me too.
So, another question.
Mhm.
What was your biggest accomplishment from joining the AZ program?
There's a lot, so I'm not just going to go one. so, um, look, strength is actually a really big accomplishment, because I was like, I want to be able to be picking my kids up, and throwing them in the air in the pool when they ask me to do it 20 times, and I want to be fit enough to like run with them and do all that sort of stuff. So that was my driver. My accomplishment was just like, I know it's going to sound strange, but I tuck my shirts into my shorts now. Like, that's never happened in my life. And it's just, I got the confidence.
Yeah.
I got the I started wearing shirts, and I'm like, damn, my arms are looking good, and like not kind of like, I don't know. I'm never one to kind of go, oh, look at me, but I was just like, far out. I'm the one that's getting my ass out of bed at 4:15 in the morning, because that's what works with my lifestyle. Obviously, that's the time that I need to train. And I'm like, I'm the one that's mentally pushing myself in the gym, because I'm just like, oh no, it's the argument in the gym. Oh, no, maybe I don't need to do that workout. No, I should do that workout, and I'm the one that's like getting it finished and I'm like, damn straight, I'm going to stand up and go, you know what? I actually look good. So yeah, I mean, I've digressed off that question, but I mean, yeah, I look great. I feel great. The food's amazing. I've got so much more energy and yeah, yeah, all around, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. Yeah. And I'm eating so much more food as well. So,
Yeah, you look incredible. I'm really, really happy with the progress. So,
thank you. Me too.
yeah. So what were the steps we implemented that you will take with you to keep you moving forward in the future?
Um, I think it's one of the major things is actually steps in themselves. We've put a goal for us to be like 7 to 10,000 steps, and that's for my own personal goal. So obviously everyone else is different, but that's to do that every day. And at first I was like, oh yeah, okay, okay. And now it's just ingrained in my mind. Like I check my watch and I'm like, oh my God, I haven't done the steps. Or, I'm walking around the house at night. I've got to get these steps in. But then, if I don't, or I kind of go, okay, I know that, today's a big day because I've got, an office job. So I'm quite, I'm seated or whatever. So I'm like, right, I'm going to stand up, for most of the, day if I can, burn more calories. Um, but also, I'm going to, I've got 20 minutes available in my calendar. Okay, I'm working from home. I know that normally I just sit down all day. I'm going to jump on, I've got like a bike, I'm going to jump on a bike for 20 minutes. I'm going to, just do something that gets my body moving. And I think that's definitely ingrained. And then also just being confident to walk into a gym and look at the equipment and go, I know what that does. I'll tell you something. At the very beginning, and I'm sure like anyone that's listening to this, if you're kind of new to the gym, you probably have these moments. But at the very beginning, I looked at some of this equipment. And I'm like, oh, I know what the usual stuff is. I've seen people do that before. There was this arm one, and I was doing it, and this woman comes up to me. She goes, it's not how you do it. This is how you should. Yeah. I felt like a right, twat, but at the end of the day I just laughed at myself and I'm like, great, you know what, a couple of people saw me, who cares, at least now I know how to do it properly. So it's now I can just walk into a gym or I can have a look at some weights and I'm like, okay, cool, I know what exercises I can do with those. And I feel confident about setting everything up for myself, and just owning the space and that I belong there. It's not, it's not like, oh, maybe, I shouldn't do this. Look at all those people that have been doing it for years. Now I can walk into any gym and I'm like, I belong here. And, this is my area that I'm going to work out in. So yeah, it's great.
That's incredible. I mean, the confidence is huge. And your mindset too, it's all about mindset as well. So,
yes. Yeah.
Great job. Great job. What would you say to someone who is on the fence about whether to join the AZFIT program?
Oh my gosh. Well, obviously just do it. So look, I tell you what, I had a meeting with Anais very early on, and and then I was just like, okay, it's a commitment, it's a financial commitment, and it's a commitment, because you can, the thing is that you can pay $5 for an app and you're like, oh, it's only $5, doesn't really matter if I go, but this is a financial commitment. So you're kind of like, right, I'm strapped in, I've committed financially, but then I'm also committing mentally as well. And it needs to be a full commitment from also, your household. And so I remember, I was like, okay, can you hold on one second? And I ran over to my husband. I'm like, what do you think? And he's like, I don't even know why you're asking me. He goes, just do it. He goes, this is your lifestyle. This is your, it's about getting healthy and staying healthy, right? Because, there's no exit strategy, well, there is, and we know what that is, but we want to be as healthy as possible throughout our lives. And we want to be moving. And I tell you what, when you have, when you have a family member that is, now, on a walker or like is shuffling along and you're like, and then you look at another family member that's only 2 years difference, and he's mowing the lawn and running around and all that, and you're just like, which one do you want to be? And you're kind of like, right, I'm going to keep my fitness up, I'm going to keep my strength up, because strength is super important, and also injury free. Like, this is the first program I've been on that I have not sustained an injury, because I've been helped along the way. I could message you, and it's a time difference, yes, but I can message you when I'm working out in the morning and I'll get a response. This is your form, do this, do that, yep, that looks great. And so I know what I'm working with. There's videos there that are just that shows at every angle what you should be doing. And then you ask me, you're like, take a video, I want to see it, I want to see it. So you've got the accountability there. And you're like, take photos of your food, how are you feeling today? And it's like, you've got a personal trainer right there and then, and which is yourself or the rest of the team. And it's, yeah, the support is fantastic. So I would not even think about it. And it's great to have your family support, it's super important. But yeah, just jump into it, because if you're stuck like I was, and you're just kind of like, I've been here before, but I've never gotten past this point. And I tell you what, I'm the fittest I have been in my whole entire life. My 20s, I wasn't fit. My 30s, I wasn't fit, and I'm like, this is the day that, this is the age that I'm the fittest and I feel the best. It's, yeah. So yes, go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it.
Incredible, incredible. What a journey. I'm
Yeah.
so grateful to be part of it. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you. Thank you so much for being part of it as well and helping me along the way. I really appreciate it.